is not a human being. You say, well, jinn is not a human being. No, he's not a human being. He is one that has free will, just like the human being. But that's all he has, is free will and rational thought. That's it. Free will and rational thought. A human being has free will and rational thought and sensitivity and spiritual development. That's a human being. So you got people who nothing but jinn, and they're all rational. And believe me, if they're all rational, they have you rationalize wrong to be right. They used to, when you used to have sell those cigarettes, they had those big old articles, big page, 2-page articles advertising for cigarettes. Scientifically, it's proven that cigarettes taste good. Mathematically, it's proven that cigarettes taste good. All the way down there, and then at the little itty bitty part that says that cigarettes will cause you cancer. That's nothing new, right? All rational. So the jinn rationalize right and wrong. So he can rationalize right and wrong. So who is Iblis? He is a jinn. And Iblis, he was the leader of the angel. He was a jinn. And you know, Iblis did not realize that he was a jinn until he rebelled and he was cast out. He discovered then that he wasn't an angel. He thought he was an angel now. He was among the angels, leading the angels, and he thought himself was an angel. And then all of a sudden he discovered that he was a jinn. Then you look at the angels. The angels are entities that do not have a mind. They only follow what God has instructed them to do. The angels could be light. The angels could be a rock or tree. Angels could be within you, and you don't know it. For example, if you saw a bird and a bear and a lion running from around the corner as fast as it can to get and fight, that would be an angel to you to tell you don't go around that corner. Right? So the angels, they have no free will. They only do what God has commanded. However, if we read when the Iblis rebelled against God, or just before, Allah said that He's going to make a ruler in the earth. And the angels questioned God. You know some angels question God? Angels do not have a mind to question God. But the angels that questioned God was the ones that was influenced by Satan, and those are the ones that questioned God. They didn't have their own mind; they had Satan's mind. And those angels was cast out also. Allahu Akbar. So, Allahu Akbar. So I had to mention that. So we're dealing with community development. You know, there's a saying that by any means necessary, they use that term. That is not an Islamic term. You know, a person can say that, you know, he's a Muslim, but he said, I'm a Christian. And he started getting into Christian organizations, and he started teaching Christianity, and he get all the way up into the top of leadership in Christianity, but he's really a Muslim. Imam Muhammad said that is wrong. That is not a Muslim. That's false. Just like if anybody comes in here, if he's a Jew or a Christian or whatever, and he gets all the way up to the highest level, and he's a Christian, that is wrong. So, you know, you look at a lot of these countries, they got these secret agents and everything like that, even in Islamic country. You know, a lot of things that in the Islamic country, the people, the Islamic country there went astray. They went astray. You say, well, how can they go astray? Well, the prophet, before he received revelation, he was astray. We read in Nuh that he was astray. And then God gave him guidance. So people can go astray. How can they go astray? It's because when they have the readings of the Quran, they misread it. And if they misread it or misinterpret it or put it in their own mindset or in their own words, they're going to have problems. Now, we are blessed. Why are we blessed? Because we're a model community. Why are we a model community? Because we came out of the Nation of Islam. And the Nation of Islam was a movement in death to come alive. That's what it was. A movement in darkness to come to the light. That's what the Nation of Islam was. So we used to believe that man was God, right?
That's right.
We used to believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the messenger of God, right? We had a whole history of Yaqub's history and all that stuff, and 66 trillion tons and all those things. We had all those things. So when we picked up the Quran and we read the Quran, all of us were looking for Farad Muhammad in the Quran. All of us were looking for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the Quran. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Imam W.D. Muhammad, we still would believe that Elijah Muhammad is God, and we would still believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the messenger of God.
Yes.
We know who Allah is. Why? Because Imam W.D. Muhammad, he showed us the reality of God, and he showed us the reality of the Prophet, and he showed us the community development. And with that understanding then, that we have to understand that we are a model community. So as a model community, we should have to, we should look at the symbolism that's over there in Hajj. When we make pilgrimage to Hajj and make pilgrimage to Mecca, and we go to the sacred house that Abraham and his son Ishmael had built. When we go there and we look at the black stone, we have to realize, what does this black stone represent? Does stone have a meaning? You know, some people think it's God. Some people don't know. They just go through the ritualism and don't even know what it is. That stone represents Adam. That's what that stone represents, Adam. It represents Prophet Muhammad. Also, it points to Allah. Not saying that it's Allah, but it lets us know that Allah is one. That Adam is one. That Prophet Muhammad is one. We have our focus that you have one God, one humanity, right? One God, one humanity, one creation. Allahu Akbar. So it's a symbolism. So you look at Adam. Adam represents your original nature. We lost the original nature. Satan had got control and made us all artificial. And when I say all artificial, Muslim, Jews, Christians, the whole world, Satan had got in touch with everything. And a lot of people say, well, Satan is, you got to see him. You see him walking down the street or something like that. You know, if you want to find Satan, you don't find him in the government. You don't find him in the business. I mean, you can find him there. You can find him in the government, but his best hiding place would be where?
In your heart.
Right there in religion. Right? Being seen as a religious person. And it's bad. I mean, they look holy, holy, and righteous, righteous. And it's bad when you conduct yourself as a person and trying to be holy and righteous and follow the guidance that within your religious establishment. It's a bad thing when you find a surprise waiting for you once you get to the high level. The secret orders give you that example. As you go degree by degree, trying to learn the ancient knowledge. That's what it is. The ancient knowledge of the dead that they have in secrecy and have locked up. And you go degree by degree, they're going to give you that old knowledge. When you get up there, you find Satan is right there. That's bad. Allahu Akbar. So Satan, we don't have any problem with the Christians. We don't have any problem with the Jews when they're practicing their religion. Our contention is against Satan, who is in, I don't care what religion it is. And we can see now that Satan was hiding right there in al-Islam. Allahu Akbar. When I say in al-Islam, is in Islamic country, not in al-Islam. Al-Islam is spelled out in the Holy Quran. But in the Islamic country, what they did, they misread what Prophet Muhammad had said. And they began to put their minds and they put their interpretation out there. So when you hear about jihad, you hear more about jihad than al-Islam. And then the interpretation of jihad is going on and blowing up everybody. They don't care if it's Muslim, children, man, woman, child, they don't care, whoever it is, they'll blow them up and they say that they're Muslims and they're martyrs. See, that's a bad interpretation. That shows you that Satan got a hold of the religion. Allahu Akbar. And if it wasn't for the grace of God in establishing a living human being in the world that reflected The example of Prophet Muhammad